Well, I just want to see if I have the transcoding options. I do. All right. Hey, I'm back. Probably no one's watching, but maybe you will be watching in the VOD. I don't know. It depends on how quickly notifications get sent out and who wants to be watching. Anyway, took a break for about a month and a half because I had a consulting gig contract and had a hard time streaming while I was working on that. They wanted me to work on it full time, and I was basically dedicated to that, and I really couldn't do that and streaming at the same time without completely burning out. So anyway, I am going to work today on taking some unit tests that I wrote a couple years ago for Universal Resource Identifiers. Hey there, cat peasant. How are you doing today? I should have spelled this out. Universal Resource Identifiers. URI. And I don't know why that's all in bold. Up. Come on, keyboard. I'm doing well, cat peasant. How are you doing? Or did I say that again? Are we in a recursive how are we doing thing? I tend to do that. My apologies. Okay, so let's see if I got my plan in order. Yeah, if anyone comes to the notebook page, I want it to be obvious what we're doing. URI, Universal Resource Identifier. So I implemented this in C++ 2 years ago, and I am getting into Rust now, and I kind of wanted the same thing in Rust, and I couldn't find one that was fully compliant with the spec. I am stuck in a loop forever and ever. So yeah, at first I was using the HTTP crate and found that it had some issues, like it just didn't implement certain things. And then I found this comment about the fact that it just doesn't comply on purpose. As someone admitted that to some point. The current parser is already non-conformant. So I'm like, okay, let's move along. And then next looked at the URI parse crate, and let me jump to that. URI parse. So this one claims to be an implementation of that same spec, right? But I found several issues with it, and I actually opened them here over a week ago. They haven't gone anywhere, so I don't even know if it's still in development. It's kind of been sitting there. No one's been looking at it. So I figured, hey, I already have the unit tests, which I used to develop it in C++, and I ported up to Rust just in my spare time to see if I could get, if URI parse is actually conformant, which is how I found those 4 different issues. And I'm like, well, I already have all the unit tests ported now to Rust. I could just implement my own URI parser generator using these unit tests. That's what I'm going to do. Hey there, develop it. How are you doing today? I am back. I'm going to be very rusty, though, not having streamed in over a month. So my apologies if things don't work out completely smoothly. Hey there, Red Sky One. How are you doing? Yeah, so this is kind of like a flashback to what I was doing 2 years ago, too. Oh, we're going to get those subs coming back in. Hey there, Dr. Padawan. Thank you for that resub. Yes, I am back. Thank you for the resub. So you guys, just remember, you don't have to resub to me. I do this streaming because I do this kind of programming anyway, and this is making it more social, kind of showing it to people. And unlike a lot of other streamers, I don't have like I'm not looking to make this my full-time thing, like make it into a job or something like that. For the last couple of years, I did have the hope that I would eventually do this full-time, but kind of reached the realization that it's never going to pay the bills, and how to best say this? Only a very, very small percentage of startups and streamers actually are like completely successful. So after doing this for about 2 years, I reached the conclusion that it's not going to pay the bills for me. So I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to try to make this my full-time thing and have everything rely on it and make it perfect and like make everybody happy. I'm just going to continue to do this in my spare time, so to speak, and not try to stress too much about it. Yeah, exactly. Hey there, Arethal. Is it a ghost? Hey there, Romania Hate. I am back. I am back. I am doing well. How are you doing? So, yeah, that whole rant that I just did is to let you guys know, in the past where I tried to like make this stream into, this is going to be my full-time thing. I'm going to build a game and kind of make money off of that. I'm no longer like, actively expecting that or hoping for that or putting a lot of stress into making that happen. I'm just gonna do sort of like side projects, hobby stuff. The game that let me just link to it. I'm still gonna be working on my game. It's there and you can try it out now. I'm still working on that because that's been like a lifelong goal project that I've iterated on many times, and I still want to continue to advance that, but I'm no longer like putting a lot of stress on making that, like putting all my chips into that and counting on that panning out. It's going to be like, I'm going to work on that as I can and as I feel like it and all that. Is this just real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality? Hey there, Linux and Dr. Padawan. Yeah. See, I did this stream for about 2 years, kind of building it up, and found it a stressful, mostly because I kept pretty high expectations in on it, and trying to like constantly get better and holding myself up to some pretty high standards. So I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm going to follow the CM Griffing model. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's the link. So Chris is streaming all the time. And he can do that and not be stressed out because he doesn't hold such high expectations. He just kind of keeps the stream going while he does his normal thing. You planning to finish the LED strip thing? Oh, to make it like controlled by the stream? Yeah. I also want to do some more work on the stream overlay. So like right now, that thing above my head that used to be there, this thing, the current task, I don't like how manual that is, so I kind of want to automate that, and I want to make that so that I or my mods can have some control over that, and then the lights as well. And I want to do some work on that. So, Flaken, how are you doing? How are you doing today? Okay, it's been a month and a half. It's hard for me to keep up with chat, but I'll try. But if I miss something, let me know. He smokes to be extra chill. Yeah, I can't do that. My wife would kill me. Although, yeah, I have to admit, I have thought about it once or twice. Got some good news? Oh, cool. Well, if it's too much to explain here, you can always explain it in the Discord, which I will shamelessly link. All right. Coworker says he likes pixel art games. He linked my game YouTube. Oh, he likes the streams? Cool. And the game? Yeah. Well, just because I haven't yet, let's go look at it. Make sure it's still running. Oh yeah, so this has been a lifelong project on the side for me for ever since like high school. And so it's going to continue to be a very long-term thing. I'm not going to actively work on it every stream. So work on it as much as I can without getting too stressed out about it. How come my, hey there, JT. My chat stopped scrolling for some reason. All right, anyway, I'm not going to work on that today. I'm working on URIs. So let me get into it. You guys let me know if you have any questions. So I guess this is a good example here. We don't need that. So my test right now is geared towards testing URI parse, which is okay except for a few issues, so I have to comment out certain things because they're just broken. So my goal today is to make my own implementation based off of these unit tests. So we're going to be going through these tests, which I can run right now. For example, that it passes. But it uses URI parse, and I wanted to use my library instead. Hey there, Mr. Balrog. You're heartbroken. I don't know what the font I'm using is confusing me about that, but hello, Mr. Balrog, how are you doing? Okay, so for example, we have this string right here, right? And if we're parsing it as a URI, we expect to get HTTP for the scheme part, and we expect www.example.com for the authority, or the host part of the authority, and then the remainder of the string is the path, right? So URI parse library does that, and just to compare with what I had in C++ for the same thing. Lentil Stew Dragon, thank you for the 19 months. It's a long time. And I should say thank you for anybody who's continued this sub even while I was on break. I really appreciate that. Although, just to say it again, don't feel like you need to sub to me. I don't need the money, you know, although I do appreciate it. I know you haven't seen me in ages. I haven't streamed since when? August 14. It's been a month and a half. Wow. Okay. So let me open the same test, but for C++ for comparison. I think that's it right there, right? So we put that on the right. It's going to work out. And I mean, chat's going to get in the way, but you can kind of... what if I put it on the bottom? Maybe that'll work a little bit better. Sure, there we go. There we go. Rust on the top, C++ on the bottom. So I should point out a couple things I also don't like about URI parse. That what was it? Okay, maybe not in that test, but in some later tests. No, I'll just get back to that. I don't want to get too off track. URIs are like magnet links, right? Links that open programs or something. They are just identifying where to get a resource. So the most common URI that you'll probably run into is the address of a web page. So it just tells the browser how to obtain that web page. But we can hide this now, right? Put that back up there. This is another kind of URI, which is a name. So this is like within some kind of namespace, like books. You could envision that you break up or you organize your books by category, and then you have the name of the book. So this is also a universal resource identifier, but it's not a URL or universal resource locator like you would use for a browser. It's in a completely different context, right? So URI is just a way to find a resource, and encoded in that URI is the method of doing it. So HTTP means hypertext transport protocol, right? So it means to go out on the web to get it. And the URN book is a clue that, hey, we're identifying a book resource, and we have the rest of it given the context that it's a book. You know, very, very loose language there, but I hope you get it. Does trailing dot work for host? I mean, if we did put a dot in there, we would expect a dot out there too. As far as URI is concerned, whatever is within this region just comes out as is. Rowdy Monkey, 24 months, that's 2 years. 2 years! That's a long time. Thank you, Rowdy Monkey. Yeah, the U is for universal, I thought. Universal. We can double check, though. I get names wrong all the time. Oh, I got it wrong. It's uniform. Uniform. Thank you, Glycan. Got the first point in like a month and a half. Did you not have points in my stream before, or is my bot broken? Well, let me give Raleigh a monkey point to test that. No, he had points before too. Okay. Okay. I'll let you keep your point, Raleigh Monkey. You didn't have points before? Okay. Another point. I don't know why it says you have 0. Maybe my bot is broken. What am I working on? I'm working on parsing uniform resource identifiers in Rust. And hello again, Lentil Stew Dragon. Thanks again for the sub. Raleigh Monkey, hello. And Or Driven. I lost you in the chat some. Oh, there you are. That's because trailing dot was handled wrong in some popular libraries. I guess we can add it to my unit test. We can add that right now. Why not? There's a test down here that has a whole bunch of examples of valid identifiers. Not normalized path. Not reference resolution. We're in the C++ version too anyway. Let's do the Rust one. There's one that has a table. Parser query, string query, that's a query and fragment. User info. Let's find it. Barely legal. Mixed case. User info. I don't know, I guess I could make a standalone test for it. Yeah, why not? Let's just do it. It's easy. So copy, paste this. Parse from string host ends in dot. So we have, I don't even need a whole bunch of test vectors, do I? I can just make this small. So let host, I don't even need that. Don't need that. Right, don't need that. Parse from HTTP example.com. Foo. And assert that it's okay, unwrap it, and assert that we get this string here for the host. Right, this is one thing I didn't like about the URI parse library. That it can't compare a slice with whatever host returns, which is an option. Can I say sum that? Yeah, even that it doesn't like because it can't convert an option slice to an option host. That's one of the things I want to get better in my implementation. I want to be able to say that. So instead I have to parse it as a host or something like that, right? How did I do it down here or up here? Right, I had to do this thing, this gross thing right here. Put that in there, remove that. And then, all right, it has to be a reference. Another silly thing I had to do, right? What am I missing here? I did unwrap it. Oh, it needs to be sum that. Again, second time in the last 5 minutes. All right, run the tests. Passes. Okay, let me do the... forgot to silence my phone. Do the same thing, but in C++. Why not, right? So if this old test was parse string... What? Oh, parse from string. Parse from string... host mixed case. There. So let's do a reverse parsing. Take this one and convert it back to C++, because why not? You can do try into unwrap if it ends up looking neater. I'd rather just not have to do any of that stuff, you know? Right now, I'm not going to perfect it because right now it's using URI parse and I want to get rid of URI parse. But yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so mixed, what is it? Camel case. Oops. I hit the wrong key there. There we go. And then there we go. All right, so it was just make a URI and then parse from string the string. And then assert that it returns true. I don't need to do that. Right, and then it's just assert equal this part for the host. A get host, right? Yep. Cool. So let's build that. Make sure my C++ implementation does the right thing. I need to open this tab to see my tests, right? Yeah. Okay, and then I can close that again. Run it. Why did it do that? It wasn't sure which one to run? Okay. Anyway, it passed. Okay, and then this one still passes, right? Okay, we're good. Let me check that in. So we're handling dot at the end of the host just fine. It's a good exercise to do. Add tests for parsing hosts ending in dot. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. Okay. Okay, so continuing on. I want to start to change the implementation from URI parse to my own thing, but I want to start with something easy. So one of the easy tests. Now to make it as a Vim plugin. What is it with Vim? Why is it becoming so popular? I mean, one of my best friends loves Vim. But I always thought of it as just like personal preference for editors. I don't know why it's so popular now. That's the user info. I want to start with the scheme, maybe. You can do Q and Q exclamation point. That you know how to exit Vim. That's like the masterclass challenge, right? For Vim is can you exit it? Do I still have that as a joke command? No, I don't. Where did I put that? Hold on. I must find this. I don't want to search all notebooks. Just that one. Okay. Do I have something for Vim here? Oh yeah, here we go. I had it in my notebook. There you go. How to exit Vim. Enjoy. Hey there, Nui. Long time no see. Also, hello to someone who I missed in the... oh, no, I saw your chat, but I didn't say hi. Hi. Maya. I'll just say Maya. Hello, Maya. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to find a test that would be like a good way to start establishing the library. I didn't have this in a very good order. Because this one not only parses the scheme, but also parses the path, and I don't have, I don't want to have to do both at first. I don't want to start with corner cases. Okay, isn't there one for scheme? I guess not. All right. Well, yeah, I'm not sure exactly where to start. I'm just going to keep going through until I find something I like. Not normalized path is hard. No, PV6 is hard. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess we can start from the first one. Vim was always popular. Vim plugin is even recommended one by JetBrains. What I mean by why is it suddenly so popular? it's going around in a lot of the dev streams that I watch. Vim, like Primogen uses Vim, and he's a big proponent of that. But I've also seen it pop up on a few other streams that like people are like, "Oh, let's try Vim." You know, I need to get into Vim, that kind of thing, and it just makes me wonder why. Maybe it's the streamers watch each other's streams and watch someone doing Vim, and they seem to be having fun, so they're like, well, maybe I should try it out too. Okay, I need to just... okay, the library is going to be here, right? The tests go with the library, so I just need to establish the library. Maybe what I start out with is modify the tests. Yeah, I should modify the tests so that instead of using URI parse, it's using my own thing. I'm going to want to use super everything, right? Because we're going to be defining our own methods here and our own type. So struct URI, why not? And then we're going to want to impl URI, right? Using Vim and having fun are mutually exclusive. I don't know, Primogen seems to be have fun, and he uses Vim all the time. Okay, it's weird that I put the warrant. Oh, I see, okay. Oh, yeah, we should have uppercase for these classes. All right, what's it going to be complaining about now that I have nothing in there? Yeah, never constructed. Okay, so... Hey there, LumaCode. Doing okay. Yeah, I just finished working on a contract that lasted a month and a half, and it was full-time where they wanted me to work on it exclusively, so I really had no energy left to do the stream after working every day on that contract. And I really can't even talk much about the contract because it's for a company where everything is like super proprietary, don't show it to anybody, don't even talk about it. I could probably ask them, say, how much can I talk about on my stream? Maybe they'll let me talk more about it, but I need to ask first. Okay, anyway. Use it for performance. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with VS Code. Hope it wasn't Rust. No, I couldn't say that. I was in C++, so I'm rusty in Rust. I haven't done Rust in about a month and a half. Except for these tests where I did very recently. What I want to be able to say here is my class parse. Just keep it simple. And we will return an error, so we want to assert that it's okay and unwrap it just like URI parse does. And then we should have... I want to have the same... I like this API that we can say none or some for the scheme. And we want to be able to work with comparing the string in either position, first or second. So I want to be able to say either that or that. Yes, that's what we're going to start with. Even a game teaching Vim? Yeah, I've heard about that. Only the first level is free of charge? Oh, that's sneaky. You like the first level? Okay, pay up. You want to keep playing? Pay up. All right. Yeah, so obviously I'm going to need to have a parse that returns a that takes let's keep it it really doesn't matter what the lifetime of the slice is. I can just leave it like that. I have to say what's a good name for it? URI string. It's going to return a result of URI. All right. Let's say for now it's an error. Not yet implemented. And then, is it not result? Oh, do I have to actually give it an error type? It's been a while. What do libraries typically do for that? Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up. So let's go look it up. Let's go back to the Rust book where they talk about result. This is using. I want to see how where it's declared. I guess I can just look that up. Reference, right? No. Docs. Okay, so file. And I want to open. And I want to see the code for that. Oh. Yeah, there, kind Chris. Yeah, I felt like since I hadn't streamed in a month and a half, it was time to clean up a bunch of stuff. And that rabbit avatar I had was mostly to anonymize. And I figure you could see me anyway now. You have been able to see me on stream, my real face, for over a year. So what the heck am I doing with a stupid rabbit avatar still? So I just put my real professional photo up there. How are you doing, kind Chris? And Silmith, how are you today? I forgot to say hi. Click on result will lead you to the type alias. Yeah, maybe I need to do the same thing with the type alias. Oh, it's just error. Isn't that what I wrote? I didn't like that, though. Is errorful also defined somewhere else? Oh. Should I be making my own error? I guess I should be. I haven't done this before, though. The rabbit profile picture had a story behind it. It didn't really have that big of a story, though. It was just I had to pick a random avatar, and it was just something that I had laying around in the computer's pictures folder. Doesn't my face have a story behind it too? Reimer. I ought to look at the Rust book when they talk about defining our own error types, right? You always use string or static string to have string on the errors. Get going fast. Yeah, but I kind of want to spend the time to do this right, if I can. Although I guess that goes against my getting it to work first, and then getting it right, and then making it fast. I thought the Rust book talked about custom errors. Did I miss that? Oh, maybe they did it in chapter 12, which I kind of skipped. Yeah, they probably covered this, and I skipped when I skipped it. I missed out on it. Okay. Where do they handle errors? Aha. Well, that's just a panic. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. Chapter 18? Oh, that's Rust by example. I guess we can jump to that. I was in the Rust book. You're in Rust by example, which is fine too. Thank you, Mr. Balrog. Oh, I didn't get a host message, but thank you, Makings of a Hero. How was your stream? 6 viewers. Hope you're doing well. As you might be able to tell, I'm kind of rusty. Ha ha ha. I'm working on Rust today, but I'm also rusty because I haven't streamed for about a month and a half. It's pretty productive. Great. How's your game coming along? All right. Defining an error type. This is what we need to do right now. Yeah, I'm old too. Yeah, I can just use that excuse whenever it's convenient. That's one of the things you learn when you get older. The more old you get, the more opportunities you get to use that. It's because I'm old as an excuse for any kind of screw up. Trying to make a spooky, intimidating, hulking mass of vines and death, but instead made a cute little dancing dude. Hey, at least you made something. I agree, modeling is hard. Any kind of art, for me is incredibly difficult. I can't do nearly as well at that as I can just implementing stuff, which is what I'm doing today. Yeah, right now I'm trying to implement a specification for which stands for how come I can't remember this stuff? It's because I'm getting old. Not universal, right? Uniform Resource Identifier. You know, the thing you have in your browser's address bar. Where's the... I should just keep it on that page that shows a really nice breakdown. Hold on, let me find the good page. I gotta find the good page. Didn't just get... How come I can't find these things when I need to? Oh, here it is. There we go. Found it! Mr. Balrog is never tired. He just says that. I'm just kidding. Non-stop meetings since you got back from vacation? I hate that. Yeah, so the familiar links and contents of address bars when you're browsing on the web, that's one kind of Uniform Resource Identifier. And the specification for that is in this RFC 3986. And if you can memorize that number 3986, that means you're a true computer nerd. Anyway, so the code I'm writing today is doing what this diagram is depicting, that we're going to break up a link or a uniform resource identifier into its various pieces. The front part called the scheme, and then the authority, which is usually a host name and maybe a port number, maybe a username. The path part, and then if present, there's the query string and the fragment string, right? So this is a very verbose example. Most URLs will just have the scheme and the authority and maybe a path. And if you did some kind of like a form submit or something like that, you might have a query attached to the URL, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're parsing those again today. If this looks or sounds familiar, it's because I did this 2 years ago in C++. I'm redoing it again today in Rust. Department got merged with the entire group's collective IT department. Suddenly, you're now a solution architect. That sounds impressive. The entire country as your responsibility. Uh-oh. Mr. Balrog's in charge now. Okay. I kind of got off in the weeds there. I need to define an error type. Sometimes it's simplifies the code to mask all the different errors of the single type of error. A good error type represents different errors with the same type, presents nice messages to the user, can hold information. Okay. Wait a minute, where do they actually define it? Oh, right here. Okay, so it's just an empty structure? I don't get it. Oh, this is a degenerative one. Like, there's just one thing that it could be. I get it. I'll see ya, Lentils 2 Dragon. Thank you. Good night. I wanted to see a more expressive example, I guess. Happy customer index. That's the happy customer index? Okay. All right. Within the year. Man. Sounds stressful. Okay. I'm not happy with this. It's too abbreviated. I want to go back and find it in this Rust book. Hold on. They gotta make their own error. Oh. Use standard error? Could I just do that? Oh, that's a trait. Okay. Huh. I wouldn't know anything about that. Happy customer index stuff. I don't know why I'm so lost looking at this. Probably because I'm skipping around too fast. The problem is I don't actually know where to start looking. This is handling error. How do I generate an error? Just create an enum with variants for separate kinds of errors and implement the display and error traits for it. All right. Thank you, Silameth. So I would do it inside of URI, right? Enum error. And we'd have something like, well, I really don't need anything. But I need some kind of placeholder. It won't let me define this without any variance, right? Enum is not supported inside of an impl. I need to, wait, what did it tell me to do? Move it out to a nearby module scope. Okay, well, we can move it here. I can't have an empty variant? Okay, let's just do that then. And then, right, I need to say, okay, I guess I do have a variant here. Not yet implemented. My son just started playing the flute for school, and I'm wondering if that's going to come in through the stream. I'm looking at my noise gate to see if it does. Maybe only when I talk. If you hear some, like, flute music in the background, that's my son playing. Or you were wondering what that was? If I don't talk, the noise gate cuts it out, though. You want to wrap around errors from other libraries, implement from library error. Okay. I see, yeah. Thank you again, Sylveth. Remember, I'm very rusty at my Rust. So I would do this, right? And then I'd have to implement, oh, there was a way to auto-implement some of these things, right? Derive. Why am I trying to guess when I can just look it up? Right, it's a macro. Derive, debug, and clone. And then we're implementing display, right? Display for error. And then, oh, what's this? Jackamus resub. Thank you for the 7-month resub, Jackamus. Is there a reason why it didn't like this? Why? I don't remember seeing that before. FMT display. Okay, it is what it is. It's probably standard FMT, right? Yes, but I need to implement something. Wasn't there a shortcut for that here? If I hover over this maybe, what was it? Quick fix, implement missing members. There we go. Yay. How goes it? So it's been about a month and a half since I last streamed. I was working on a contract gig for the last month and a half full time, so I had no energy left for streaming. And that's finally done, and I actually found it hard to start back into streaming again. I had to kind of make myself hit that start stream button. The game dev stuff was totally on hold for the last month and a half while I was working on that contract. So I got paid, which is good. But the bad thing is it kind of disrupted all the other things I was doing. So didn't make any progress on the game. And kind of lost a bit of what I had learned about Rust. But I guess on the good side is it made me kind of reevaluate what I want and as far as the streaming and what my expectations should be, so I don't stress myself out and get you know, burned out. Yeah, thanks, Jackamus. Yeah, it was nice to get a little bit of side income. So it's just saying that I don't have any use for that variable. Yeah, but we're going to use that, right? Because we're going to write to that formatter. I guess we're going to end up doing a match self, and in the cases, see if I remember how to do this. It is I can't do self there. Yeah, it's missing arms. The arms are just the values, right? And then I can just have a block here, right? Write to the formatter, not yet implemented. And it didn't like that. Why? Because I need to return a result. What do they typically return? Oh, they just forward the write call. All right, now what's going on here? Snake? What? Snake case? That should have snake case, really? Okay, fine. I thought that those were Pascal's case. I didn't know that those had to be snake case. Now what? Upper camel. Wait a minute. That's what I had a second ago. What is it complaining about here? Oh, that it's never constructed? It's just saying it's dead code. That's all it's saying. It thinks it's a variable. Did I construct this wrong? Good night, Mr. Balrog. Anyway, this is not used. That one is used down here, though. Is it because I have errors down here? Let's just have the other ones return something. So, scheme, self, optional string slice. We should make that live as long as self, right? What actually, it'll probably just deduce that, right? That shouldn't be none. It should be error, not yet implemented. Actually, I can't do that because it's optional. Let's just do none. Hold on. I can't do that. What is the lint here? What's the key? Is it F3? F4? No, F8. Okay, I didn't want to do that. That's the error, but there's no key to get this pop-up for warnings. Associated function is never used. Okay, well, let me just fill it in. Fill in the rest here. None. Oh, wait a minute. That won't be an option. Right, so we have to put in something. Hey there, Lesnar4. Yes, I'm back. Hi, how are you doing? And null pointer reference, how are you? And your match statement should have been error not yet implemented arrow. Oh, you have to actually put that in there? Okay. You're probably correct. Of course you're right. That's your first point? Have another point. Thanks, Lesnar. I'm trying to handle all these errors, though. It just says it's never constructed. But I constructed it down here, but it's saying in general I'm not actually using these. I'm wondering if, is it just because I never used them outside of the test? Oh, do I have to like mark these as public in order for that to go away? There was something I had to do here, right? I know, those points. What are you going to do with all of them? Okay, I can't remember. Was it... Where to use that funny keyword? It's not dead code. It's just that I'm not using it outside of tests. But this should run and fail now, right? Oh, I got an elaborate backtrace. Yeah, I mean, that looks fine. Okay, now the warnings went away. Did it just need to build in order to get rid of those warnings? I guess. Okay, no, they're back when I hit save. Oh well, maybe I just live with them for now. Okay, anyway, to make this pass, let's just have it return okay. Like that, right? Right, so it's failing because the path didn't get preserved. I wonder if I turned something on that gave me this huge stack trace. Anyway, it's probably time to start doing the real code here. So, I already have the code in C++, so I might as well just take a look at it. Doop-doop-doo. Where's the main function for this? Not resolve. Parse from string, here it is. I mean, I like this, so why don't we just port this straight? Yeah, so we can say let rest, well, scheme and rest, right? Equal parse scheme. And here we'll actually give it a name. And only if that succeeds. So if let some, well, if, no, I should just make that a question mark, right? And then find first up. What's the equivalent in Rust? Let's look stuff up. Do I already have Rust docs? I do. Okay, so I really want string. There's no find? Oh, there's a find. That's what I want, right? Just find. It returns the byte index to the first character of the string size that matches the pattern. Oh, cool, Silmith. Thank you for that. Let me grab that. Let me save that for later, actually. Why'd I close my notebook? Open notebook. Notes. There we go. Actually, let me grab the whole post there. Thank you. Keep that open. All right. All right, so I want to do find. It's going to give me an option. So yes. Let path end equal arrest.find pattern. Oh, that's not what I want. I want to find one of. I don't know. I'll do what some other C++ programmer before me must have done. Rust equivalent of find first of. Why am I using Google? I don't want to be using Google. I want to be using Bing. C Rust equivalent of find first of. That's the try catch. Wrong thing. How about Rust find first of? Nope, that's not it. Shoot. My Google foo isn't very good. Rust find first character in set. It's the same answer. How come it's reaching me here? Reaching this one. Yeah, I don't want this one. It's also including search results from Rust game. Don't know. Okay, what I want to do is have the Rust equivalent of find first stuff. So find the first character that's either a question mark or a hashtag. And find won't work because the pattern is find exactly one, like it would find that substring, not either one of those characters. I guess I could do, there should be like a one that takes a function. I guess we could do that. Matches? No. I know, kind of lost. Yeah, find. Hey, Buff Siegel. Find, that's what I started with, but find would find a substring, right? I want to... Basically, it should find the first character that is either a question mark or a hashtag, not the substring question mark followed by a hashtag. So, like, this would not return the right thing, right? This would not find it unless that was literally a substring in the rest, or in the URI string, or the rest of the URI string. There, Mr. Muffles. How are you doing today? It's getting kind of warm in here. Yeah, find isn't gonna work, is it? Oh, wait. You can give it a closure. I didn't know that. How does that work? Oh, a pattern can be a closure? Okay. All right. You can also take a slice of characters, check the examples. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let me look at that. Thank you. Null pointer reference. Yeah, I guess I didn't look at it closely enough. It was, I thought it was just searching for a string pattern. So an array of characters as opposed to a, okay, so I can, okay, I got it. Back. So what, so that would turn into this, right? It would find either one. I guess we'll end up testing this and find out, right? We get an optional, something. Okay, anyway, right, so then let, why am I typing this? Let turn that into a snake case, and then the equivalent of substring is what? Is it only in nightly? Because this is, oh, that's, oh. Well, wait, how did we get here then? I mean, find does work, right? And they talk about that. I could at least use a closure, right? Oh, yeah, the closure always works. Let's just do the closure. Find C where C is, well, it's C is in a member of, right? We can say the string that find C is some. Yeah, Muscabish, I was thinking about doing that, but this maybe is a little bit easier to read. I don't know if it's as efficient, though. The trait is nightly. You can't implement your own patterns, but the standard lib is specialty, so you can use it. So I could use it this way. Let's have it both ways. Let me hit back until I get back to that. We'll comment out this one for now. Let's see if I can do it this way. Actually, I just want to slice it again, right? So I just want to slice it again. This is going to return an option. So I need to handle the case like it has to have like or. Is it or else? I want it to on like, I don't want an option as a return value. Is it map or? And it's not map or, is it just, it's just or, isn't it? Praise be Rust Standard Library, yeah. This returns an option. I don't want it to return an option. I'm having a hard time reading that for some reason. Let me find it here. Or. Okay, that's almost the right one I want. I want it to return T. Is it or else that I want? No, it's not or else. Is it unwrap or? Aha. Yes, unwrap or. And then what I want is, if it isn't there, path end will be the end of the string, so it'll just be rest.length. You can do length, right? Okay, one of these days, I'll have this memorized. Yeah, there. Wait, how come okay, there we go. Oh, I have to actually call it like a function. There we go. So that should be a size. Good. All right, that'll work. Pass, yay. You always try len, and if it doesn't compile, actually look for what it is. I'll get to that point. I mean, it just takes, it takes time. It's like muscle memory, right? Okay. Oh, I forgot to say hi to Muscavish. That'll be one of the things I want to help automate, is like more like in my face if I need to say hi to somebody. Yeah, every language is like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is just the end. Okay, so snake case is just rest path end, right? Yeah. All right, and then yeah, then we need to split it. Considering, do I need to parse the path, or I'd maybe just keep it as a string? I think I will parse it as a path, as in like an array of segments. So I'll just keep the same form. So let okay, this actually parses the authority, so I'm going to want let authority and path string equal that, turn into snake case of that. Long names. And then that might return an error. All right, good. Good, good, good. And then we'll want to parse it. Might as well have it parse both. Split authority from path and parse them. Yeah, so this will just be path. Set default path of authority present and path empty. Well, why not? We'll just make that part of that. Okay, and then, yeah. I'm thinking that that modified the query and or fragment part. Let me verify. Yeah, it was an in out. Actually, it should have said in out, not out. Oh, no, it was an output. Okay, so it's... Yeah, all right. I understood what I was doing. This is taking that and returning that and then putting the query inside the impl. So we're trying to avoid doing that for Rust. So instead, it would just be query rest equals parse fragment. Query and or fragment. Let query let fragment equals parse fragment. Why did I have the parse the fragment and then the query? Okay. There must have been a reason why I pull the fragment off first and then the rest of it is the query, but okay, I'll just go with it. Okay, so if we get this far... Oh, wait a minute, these could fail, right? Yeah, so then these are all fallible. And if we get this far, we get a valid URI. Here's where I gotta fill in stuff. So we have a scheme, which is a string. I'm not gonna bother with lifetimes. We're just gonna clone it. Scheme. If I'll go back and make them slices later if I feel up to it. So scheme, path, no. After the scheme is the authority, which we haven't defined yet. Whoops. Path is a vector of strings, and then query is a string, and actually these are optional. And then a fragment is an optional string. And so is the actually these are all these are optional. Except for path, right? No, even path might be optional. Might not have anything in this. And we can end in a comma, right? Okay, so struct authority. We have host, which is an optional string, and then well, we have user info. It's an optional string, and then port number, which is an optional U16, right? Yep. Okay. All right. So that's parse. Let's add parse scheme. That is takes a... Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. String slice. And yields a string and another slice, which is the rest. All right, and for now we will return... actually, that's going to be an option. And the whole thing is a result. Did I get that right? I think I did. Let's return for now. Error not yet implemented. Mismatch types, because I need to return error. All right. I just want to get this, all these red squigglies to go away. So what's wrong with this one? Can't find it in this scope. Oh, do I need to do self? Yeah, okay. And then I can't do this. I have to do an... I just get rid of that, right? The question mark removes the error path, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's not implemented for that. So we can't do that. Shucks. But I need this here too anyway. Get rid of that. All right. Wait, what? How come it didn't like that? Can't I slice? The slicer value is a type slice or string cannot be known at compile time. So what? Oh, I need to take a reference. Yeah. See, it's one of the pitfalls of like working with C++ so long. I keep forgetting I need to do that. As slice. You mean for that, I can try as slice? Okay. So, slice it. Oh. Okay, so literally that is an array, and this turns the array into a slice. So to be more readable, we can just say as slice, like you said. There's no as slice, though, I guess, for that kind of array. If and there items from traits can only be used, the trait is in scope. So which scope do I need? What did that actually do? Oh, it put this use up here. It's still wrong, though. Use of unstable library feature. Yeah, well, I'm getting into weird territory, so let's not do that. I understand that. It just slices the array. Yeah, I'll keep this around too, in case I need to jump back to that. All right. Did I give you a point for that? I probably did not, so let's do that. There we go. Okay. Need this one. I'm trying to keep these in alphabetical order. So technically path would go first here. No, it wouldn't. T comes after R. All right. And then don't need that blank line. Okay, so I need split. Okay, so this takes should I just keep the names going? This returns a result of authority and vector of optional vector of path. Oh, optional authority too. Can I put that on another line? Yeah. Still have trouble with this keyboard sometimes. That's quite the return value, isn't it? I guess I don't know. I don't know if I like this formatting. Both are kind of ugly, yeah. What's wrong with this? I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just because I'm not returning it. Really, I should be using the not implemented macro, right? I forget what it is, but there's like a macro for that. Self. Should be all selves. Hey there, Anakin Luke. How's the job like? Job's over. The job was okay. It's just that I was so busy working on that for the whole last month and a half. I didn't have any energy left to do streaming, so unimplemented, I see. There we go. That's what I really should do. I shouldn't have this custom error, should I? What does this want? I guess it just doesn't want that. Yeah, I really should just be doing that. I shouldn't have this not yet implemented. Let me take a moment and put what would I have an error here? What kind of error would I have for parse scheme? Can that actually result in an error? I think it can, because I have some tests where we assert that we get a failure in a bad scheme. So let me try to find that. Actually, I can just look for is error. There we go. Bad port number. Oh, thank you for the follows. Not too far there. I'm looking for bad scheme errors. I thought I had some. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so if you had like an empty string scheme, or you had a number scheme, or a plus, these are all illegal. So we should say like illegal characters in scheme. Or, I don't know, what does the spec say? Parse error, unexpected, weird, Unicode, multi... What's illegal in URI? Well, that's what I need to go look. There are rules for what you can have in a scheme, right? But what do they say if it violates it? Flag the reference as an error rather than ignore the unused parts. Oh, that's a scheme-specific restriction. Never mind that. Okay, so it's just something that's outside of this range, so... Okay, there's actually two errors. It could be missing this first alpha, or it could have... after the alpha, you could have something that's not in this set. So should I just be very verbose and pedantic? So we can have empty scheme, and we could have scheme with illegal character. There we go. Empty scheme. Scheme expected but missing. Scheme with illegal character. Scheme contains illegal character. And we could be more specific and include which character or the offset or something, but I don't feel like it right now. Hey there, Ernius. I know, long time, no see. I haven't been here since August 14. Been working on a contract. Got finished on that contract, and now I'm getting back into streaming. And hello there, Phantasmex. I forgot to say hi to NanoBlit. I missed NanoBlit. NanoBlit said he's back. Yes, I'm back. Hi, NanoBlit. Yeah, we're just working on URIs, but in Rust again. This has been like something I worked on 2 years ago in C++, but I'm doing it again in Rust because what I found in Rust either was not compliant or had problems. So yeah, it felt like I wanted to write my own. Contract is done. Got paid. And I think they're happy. I can't really talk much about it other than that it was in C++ and it was audio related. It was pretty fun. But finished the work on it and they didn't want to extend it because they haven't found the money. All right, let's see. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that. All right, so then I'm just going to say unimplemented for that. All right. Let me just put placeholders for those other parts. Function parse, fragment. Good name for this would be query and or fragment. I'll just keep the name, right? It's actually exactly this, isn't it? And then query is going to be just the optional string. All right, and then I need to actually fill in the stuff. So it's scheme, authority, path query fragment. Could probably put that all in one line, actually. Although, something tells me I kind of want to leave these in that same order. Yeah, I think I will. Okay, what did I miss here? What did I not close? I didn't close something. That's closed. What didn't I close? Oh, this. There we go. All right. Rest is shadowed. Yes, it is. That is by intent, right? Previous bindings on 39. I think it'll be apparent if I do a move, right? Like, shouldn't... Actually, these didn't move, right? These sliced the rest. So this should just be possible query. And what does it not like about this? Ah. Come on, killing me. Use of unwrap or fall by function call. Try what? I hate it when it does that. So cargo clippy. Try unwrap or else. Oh, I see. To do it lazy. Okay, we can do that. Right, like that, right? There we go. Lazy evaluation of the length. Only if it doesn't find one of those characters do we compute the length, and then that's the path end. All right. These are just all because we don't. It thinks we don't use it. It's never used, even though I'm using it in the tests down here. It would be nice to know how to get rid of that, but that's okay. We'll go with it for now. So if I run this test, I should just get a not implemented error, right? Not implemented. Okay, let's implement it. Parse scheme. Okay, why don't I just port it directly? Why not? Hey there, really Frank. What's this? Bracket pair colorizer. It looks cool. I'll think about it. Give you a point. The other thing I'm considering is there's another plugin to VS Code that gives you color bands for indentation levels. So it makes it easier to see the indentation levels. I will consider that. Thank you. Let me grab your full message. There we go. Personally, yeah, rainbow brackets. Yep. That was the other one I was considering. I usually wait until I feel like I feel that I need it for some reason before I jump in and do that. Like if I get annoyed by not being able to find the brace for too long, I'd probably look into that. That last one though, I found it pretty quick, so I was okay not needing and not having a plugin. So draws lines to show you the scope. I'll try it out. If I feel it's pretty cool, I'll probably keep it. All right. I think we're just going to snake case this thing. And then this is a let And then to convert that, that's a... because find returns an option, right? So that would be, again, unwrap or... Yeah, it's the same thing, right? It's an unwrap or URI string.len. Wait, what? Oh, that's what I wrote up here. Oh, unwrap or else. There we go. Unwrap or else. Kind of hard to remember that. Did you get an idea for what to build with Rust? My end goal right now, because I'm getting more and more into Rust, is to try to use it to continue the work that I've been doing before, like with my web server stuff and my game, and to build more and more of the game in Rust. I kind of need all these low-level things sorted out in Rust too. So, for example, if I'm going to do my stream overlays, like the part of the stream overlay that controls my lights is a web server that runs on a Raspberry Pi. If I'm going to be building more and more stuff in Rust, including web servers, then web servers need stuff like this URI library. And I don't know, don't know what the right words are, but I don't like the feeling of using a library that's not spec compliant. And I couldn't find one for URI, so I'm like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to both get more practice in Rust and then get something I would need later that would make me happy. And so then it became high up on my desire to-do list. So yeah, I start with the general idea of what I want, which is to learn more about Rust, to get more practice in it, and then eventually to build the things I was doing on stream before, like my game and my web server stuff in Rust. I start with that, and I think, what do I need for that? I can use off-the-shelf stuff, or if I really feel like it, I can make my own version, because I like to do that. Or especially if the off-the-shelf stuff has something I don't like about it. So the URI stuff had problems, and so I'm like, I'm just going to do that. Then that helps drive the decisions for what I'm going to build in Rust. Yeah. You know, if that plugin works with Rust, we'll give it a try. Yeah, so the end goal again. Do I still have that window open? No, I closed it. Is this and some of the other web server stuff I'm doing is built up of lots of different like system components, and a lot of it's written in C++, and I'd really like to get it going on Rust. I don't know, maybe it's a fad, but once I started learning Rust, I got into it to the point where like I really want to try to see how much more Rust I could do. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that I'm thinking about going back and rewriting parts of my game that work perfectly well in C++, but write it in Rust. But it's just something I feel like I want to do. And so continue to evolve the code I write for web server stuff and for my game, but get more and more Rust into it. And I just have to ask myself, like, what do I need for that? What libraries do I need? Which ones can I just pull off of Cargo, and which ones do I need to write myself? And the ones I need to write myself, that's what I'm starting with, the low-level ones. The same way I started working on this on the stream like way back 2 years ago. I started with the lowest level things I needed. So I started with URI, right? And then I got to UTF-8. I already know that I don't need to do this in Rust because it's built into Rust, and I verified that my unit tests for UTF-8 work with just the Rust standard stuff anyway, and I don't need to make that myself. The systems abstractions, I don't think I need that in either, because Rust has a really good foundation for stuff like basic networking, but I probably will need to do my own or I probably want to do my own web server stuff and WebSocket stuff. I don't think I need to do JSON because I think Surd JSON is good enough. I'll probably stick with that. So it's like I'm picking and choosing what I want to pick up from Cargo and built into Rust and what I want to make myself. But yeah, I'm trying to Rustify or turn into Rust a lot of the stuff I had been building up. I think it'll go a lot faster. It's not going to be like another 2 years before I get all the way up to having that game again. Because I'm leveraging a lot of previous work. I'm not having to write it from scratch, and also I'm only really rewriting the stuff that I want to. Stuff that I don't care to rewrite, I'll just use from cargo or whatever. Anyway, I hope that answers the questions. Let's see. Let me know if I'm not answering the question right. Say, Reimu, I didn't understand a word you just said. And I'll say, well, I tried. I could try again, maybe. Okay, so we're taking the substring leading up to that and looking for a colon, right? So, yes. Scheme. The hard work is already done. You figure out what your game needs to do? Yeah. And I feel like I need more practice with Rust before I can write completely new stuff. So it's almost like I'm using the existing C++ code to, and the unit test particularly, to help me build up the Rust so that I don't have to do both Rust coding and figuring out the library at the same time. I already have the library figured out. I know exactly what the URI library needs to do. I can just focus on getting better at Rust. Going to rewrite your web server in Rust? Good idea. For educational purposes, of course. Hey, for me, it's mostly exercise, you know. I need the exercise doing Rust. I need to get to where I can write code as fluently in Rust as I can in C++. All right, anyway, you might ask yourself, why is Reimu obsessed with Rust? Well, didn't know anything about Rust. In fact, my Rust command talks about it. I learned it live on stream, and while I was learning it, do I have a Y Rust also? Yeah, many people asked me what I thought about it, and I didn't know it. They suggested I learn it, so I did on stream, and I really liked it. And even though it's very challenging, not only do I found I really like it, there are other streamers who use it, and I watch them, and I just I was really inspired to see what I could do with it, and to try to incorporate it into the list of programming languages that I know really well. And maybe it comes down to that it's a challenge. I always like challenges and puzzles. For example, like I play World of Warcraft, right? I don't pick DPS classes because they're boring to me. I pick healer and tank classes because they're more challenging to play. I enjoy the challenge, so Rust being a very challenging programming language to learn, it's very, very attractive to me. So other things I like about it are it's very modern. It incorporates a lot of good ideas from other languages, and it's been my experience that people who say that it's very stable, very robust and stable are right, because when I've written Rust code, it once I get past all the compiler errors, it usually just works. Whereas in C++, I usually write code that compiles almost right away, but then has all sorts of runtime bugs. So anyway, that's my long spiel. Sorry, I'm chattering too much. Let scheme end equal URI string. We're just slicing it. No, we have to do another find. And there's something okay, so it's another one of these find unwrap or else's. And this one is going to, why are we clearing the scheme? Oh, right, that is state. So we're returning that, right? So we can just return it here. Shoot. So I don't want to do an unwrap or else. We actually want to do this structure where we might return early. So then I want to do a match, right? Yeah, I want to do, or an if let. If let scheme end equals, if let some scheme end do something else, right? And the something else will just be returning an empty scheme. So return a none. So okay, none. and URI string, right? Let me just comment all this stuff out. Right, okay. Okay, see you, Selmith. Decon chamber? What's that? Decontamination chamber? Sounds like, hope you're not in quarantine or something. All right, let's sum. So the sum is actually this else part. So here I need to do what? Extract the scheme out and then, oh, we're running some kind of legal scheme check strategy. What the heck is that? Oh, okay, right. Checking these characters. Got it. Oh, decontamination chamber is a shower. Okay, got it. It sounded more elaborate, like maybe well, the vision I had in my mind was maybe you're in a family where like some people are like healthcare providers and they have to be extra careful because of coronavirus. That's what I've heard a lot of them have to put up with is preventing the spread, right? They have to decontaminate after coming home from work. All right, so get the slice and run it through that function, and then I need to convert it to lowercase. So we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff here. You just decontaminated 2 kids, Raleigh Monkey? I see. It's not a bad joke. See you, Silmeth. I don't think it's a bad joke. Oh, I forgot to say hi to Worship the Sofa. I haven't worshipped the sofa enough, I guess. And Guritoro, hello. All right, okay. Wrapping my brain around this. I guess I'll just start typing and this is let's scheme. Start typing and then change it as I go. We need to slice it, right? 0 to scheme end. And then this is, we're taking, we're borrowing from the URI string when we do that. And then ultimately we are returning an OK scheme to owned. And or scheme, it's not scheme end, it should just be scheme. And then the rest is what? Oh, thank you for the follow. I guess we can just put it straight in there, right? URI string scheme end dot dot. And it should, wait, that is the correct type. What is it not like? Only takes 1 argument? Oh, I need to double parentheses these. Because that is the tuple that we're returning with OK. Okay, it's not 2 owned, right? It's 2 string or something? Yeah. And why does it not like that? Oh, that should be sum. Yes. Cool. I didn't do that right, did I? Hold on, I'm confused. Go back to parse scheme. Yeah, I didn't do that right. I need to substring and then find. So this should be the substring from 0 to that. Okay. Now what does it not like about this? Expected integer found a reference. Oh, right, because that's going to be a reference. So I need to dereference it, right? There we go. Don't have to do that a lot in Rust, but sometimes you do. Okay, so did I get it? No, I didn't fill in the middle here, right? I need to run it through this and then lowercase. Okay, so then why don't I just run it through this way, right? Just say, why do I have fails match? Why do I break up between those two functions? I don't know why I did that. I guess I was envisioning that there might be other strategies. I never ended up needing to do that. You have to lead now too, worship the sofa? Okay, see ya. Is the official book and videos via Rust Lang a decent place? Yeah, I thought so. It's a decent place to start. The Rust Up was a good intro, right? Because, oh no, I'm confused. Rust Up is what you get and run to actually get it on your computer. But for diving into the documentation, yeah, you're right. It's all through the Rust Lang site. Yep. Yep. Okay. I don't think I actually need this elaborate wrapper here. Oh, wait. I think I did that so I can separate the loop from the non-loop part. But I can just do that with the lambda, I think. So we're just going to simplify this and we'll say check schema. Check scheme. It shouldn't be a dot. It should just be check scheme. Question mark. Because that might return early. And then if it makes it through, I'm going to make it convert to lowercase. Okay, but I need to do a couple things right here. It needs to be self, check scheme. And I'm going to want to do whatever it is you do to convert to lowercase, which let's find where that is. That's probably in two. Can we just find it in two lowercase? Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Two lowercase. There we go. You read a bit the Rust language website books, tried video tutorials, and Udemy and SitePoint. In the end, the website book was more detailed and easier to understand. Okay. I still feel like I'm a noob at Rust. I know just enough to get myself into trouble. If you want to see people who really know Rust already, then I'd suggest the people I have in my link here. Mr. Halsey, Museum. There's also Ecton Dev. I should probably add him. Or just look for the Team Rustations. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Twitch.tv/team/Rustations. Yeah, team. Oh, looks like I'm the only one on right now, but yeah. Check out the rest of the team. They know more about Rust than I do. I'm still learning. Still a noob at everything? That just... What does that say? What does that remind me of? That's like, you know what you don't know, so you're wise? Is that right, Rally Monkey? The wise person knows that what they don't know? Anyway, okay, I need check scheme. And this is the scheme string. And it's going to return a result. It's just going to return it back out, right? Yeah. And then why does it not like that? Oh, because it didn't return it. So we'll just do unimplemented. Then it's happy. Okay. Okay, we actually don't need to go to string because to lowercase does that for us. All right. I like it. Let's get rid of this old code here. tried solving advent code and that really helped you? Yeah, I'm planning to do I'm totally planning to do advent code this year, and it's all going to be in Rust. Yep. Can't wait for that. When does that actually start? Anybody know? Probably in mid-November, right? Advent of Code 2020. Well, looks like they don't have the page for it, but when did that start? Does it say anywhere when the first week was? About 1st of December, is it? I wasn't sure if it's mid-November or 1st of December. I guess you're right, December, yeah. Can't wait for 1st of December. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, you just watched me do it. That's how, well, you know, maybe it's a good thing that it seems like it just, that time has swept by. maybe we'd rather get to the end of this year. You know what I mean, Rally Monkey? Okay, so, let me run the test again, and we should get back to where it's checking the scheme, right? Just out of curiosity, can I put a breakpoint there and see if the scheme looks good? Which one do we want to run? Actually, it should never get there with this because there's no scheme, right? What does this do? Not implemented there. Oh, okay, yeah, that happens first. I need to do that first. All right. Because that is called first here. No, it passed through parse scheme. Okay, I want to see that actually. So debug that. So the URI string is foobar. Okay, so that's 3. Why is it 3? Oh, because of the slash. Okay, and then, yeah, no URI. Great. So the rest is foobar. Okay, cool. And then the path end is there. Authority and path string is that. Query string is, why does it say none? Oh, empty string. That took a while for it to run, to get to the debugger. Ooh, and then it, that's interesting. How did that happen? Is that a mouse over? I felt like that it got there because I moused over something and it got stuck. Anyway, I think we're good. I just need to implement this one next. Split authority. All right. Let's do it. Paste. Delete. Enhance. Zoom. There's authority for parse it. Okay, so if authority and path string 0 to 2 is // else, well, strip off authority marker. Why are we doing that anyway? Oh, because, yeah, okay, I get it. Actually, we can just, yeah. I don't need to do a substring, I can do a slice, right? So that's snake case. We can just do 2 ... and we've stripped it off by reassigning this. Oh, we can't do that? Oh, yeah, slice it. How many times have I made that mistake today? At least 3 or 4 times now. Okay, so auto becomes let. This is snake case. All right, and then this is that same thing, right? It's dot unwrap or else this one's length. And then write let path string authority end to the end of the string. Let authority string is slice from 0 to authority end. And then we're going to need to parse that. So parse self, parse authority, that. And then that might end early with a, like, you guys can't even see that, sorry. Let's wrap that since you guys can't see it. There we go. Should I keep the comment? Probably. Okay, so... Oh, this won't even be an authority. This is just parse the rest as an authority, right? And then otherwise we just get an empty authority. It's user info, host, and port, right? Okay, so, and then this returns actually two things, right? Authority and the path. Ooh. Yeah. So really I need to, this is the authority part, and I need to, whatever the rest of it is, I need to get the path. So it should be, okay. That, no, so I need to split this up then. Let authority equal that, and then I need to say, okay, authority, and then no, because the path might not parse correctly either. Hey there, Mandika? I don't know how to say your name, but hello. And Silenzy, hello. Forgot to say hi. I don't like the idea of parsing the path twice. I think I do need to split this up. Okay, I'm gonna split it up. Why don't I just rename? No, I'm going back and forth in my head faster than I can speak. I need to say sorry, still trying to think here. I'm not going to try to do two things at once. Mandy, okay. It's a food here. I see. Ultimately, I'm going to be doing this, right? Self, parse, path, and then the path is the remainder. I already accidentally deleted it, didn't I? Oh no, it's up here. To make this more readable, I ought to just have these be separate variables, right? Yeah. I should have done that before. Okay, so then this is parse the authority string. Path is parse the path. Yeah, okay, I like this better now. Either one can fail, right? If they don't fail, then we return them. Cool. So then I need to do the path part here. The whole thing is the path. Only if that succeeds, then we have okay, and we have the, well, we can just do it this way. And the only thing I need to duplicate is that. Okay. User info is none. Host is none. Wait a minute, why am I doing this? It should just be none. And then this should be some. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. There. Okay, so I need parse authority and parse path. Function parse authority. What is it given? Authority string. Returns result authority. Error. Unimplemented. And then I need a parse path. Path string. And then this is a vector of strings. Okay. What did I get wrong here? Oh, that probably. And then this is wrong because of what reason? Two are supplied. Oh, again, this is a tuple. There we go. Mismatched. Oh, the path could be empty. Yes. So parse path returns an optional vector of strings. Actually, does it need to be an optional vector? A vector can be empty, and that means that there's no path, right? So maybe I don't need this to be an option vector. It can just be a vector. Yeah. And then we'll write what's wrong here. This always returns a vector. I really need to indent to separate that. There we go. A little bit better. All right. So run that. See how far we get. Or this one, actually. Okay. Then we get to... hold on, what? Where is my cursor? I didn't see where that went. Line 73. Okay, so it got to parse path. Cool. Parse path is next then. I'm just getting the test to pass, so I'm just running the test every time I write something and see where it gets to an unimplemented and then implementing it. And then if I ever get all the way done with all the tests and I still haven't unimplemented, that means I don't have a test for something. Good night, Nui. Thanks for being here. So parse path. Yes. Here we go. Paste. All right. Okay, so we need to have a path. New vector. Well, it's vect new string, right? What did it not like about that? Wait a minute. Did I get that wrong? Oh, I got these in the wrong order, didn't I? Yes. Okay, now path is a new vector of strings. That's the turbofish operator. I'm still getting that wrong every now and then. Okay, so then let's handle this case right now. We don't need that. Special case of a path that is empty but needs a single empty string element. So then we have path dot. Is it add or append? Append? No, it's not append. It's one of these. Is it push? Push, right? Append to the end, yeah. Empty string. And I don't know why we're clearing the path string. What was I doing here? Oh, we're doing percent encoding. Or percent decoding. Yeah, percent decoding. So, I don't need to do that, do I? Actually, I have no idea why I'm doing path string clear. That doesn't need to be done. What's wrong with this? Oh, really? I need to say toString? Okay. Rust is very exact. Okay, so what is this not empty? Oh, it could be an empty string. Okay, so then why don't I just make this a match? Like, make this a little bit easier to read. This is loop. Okay, and then path delimiter. Let. Okay, so then this becomes like an if let sum else that. So this becomes a push. This becomes dot to string. We don't need to do that. We don't need a break. We actually do need a break. That's where we leave the loop. And then this part moves up into the if. And place back is just a push. So this would be just path string from 0 to path delimiter, I think, right? To string. And then let... Oh, that needs to be mutable. Right, and then just do that. From path delimiter on. Oh, I do need to add one. +1 dot dot. Collect. Is that an easier way to do this? Let me think about that. I haven't gotten that ingrained in me to use the to do the iteration. What did I get wrong here? Oh, yeah. I don't need a reference to the slice to do toString. Yep, okay. So I'll get back to that tendency. I'll give you a point. I'm going to say... Let me get a functional first, and then we'll go in there and make it better. To do, try out this improvement. I'm pretty sure your idea will work. I want to do that after I get this. Well, actually, do I need to wait? Maybe I can do it now. You're saying just to split it and then collect. Will that do exactly what I want, though? Thing is, I want stuff like that should go to this. A slash should go to A empty. Slash A should go to A. And then A slash B should obviously go to A, B. And then /a/b should go to empty string a, b, and then a/b/ should go to a, b, empty. This special case I took care of up here because this code down here wouldn't have given me that. It would have given me this by mistake, right? Hey there, Crossbow. So if this split and collect, that special case already taken care of, if split and collect gives me that, then I'll be happy. This I've already proven in C++ is implemented like the C++ equivalent of that, right? This is basically just eating every segment that it finds has a slash in it. So this will push the A one, and then the remainder will just be empty string, so it'll get into this else and push an empty string in there. So I'm not sure if split would give me 2 elements on that or not. Yeah, I guess we can check. That's why I hesitate to implement it now, because like I don't want to test 2 things at once. But if we got pretty good confidence split does that, then I'd be okay doing it at the same time. Let's look. Split. That didn't help. I think I needed the method split. Separate over characters matching the pattern. Okay, so that one does put an empty string in there. What if it ends in that character? They don't have an example of that, do they? Two, 3, 4. One, empty, empty, end of it. Okay, it looks like it would do what I want, actually. But, okay, just to be extra safe, we'll keep this code and replace it with that if it passes. All right, but not in this first pass. All right, so then this puts it all into a vector. Right, and then we wanted to process... Oh, actually then I could make one improvement to this, right? We could iterate, we can make an iterator instead of a vector at this point, and then at this decode element could be like a map, and then we could do a collect at the very end. So how would I rearrange? Maybe I just do that again. To do improvement, make an iterator and only collect it at the end. I'm just going to keep this old style at first, just so I can get used to this. So it would be for segment in, okay, I forget how to do this. Is it just segment in path into iter? Or actually, wouldn't it just be path equals path, or let path equals path into iter dot map segment decode out self decode element segment this character set Oh, but I need to return early on an error. Yeah, translating some C++ into Rust. Yep, you got it, Ereld. How are you doing today? I'm trying not to do too many things at once because I'm not very good at Rust yet. how do we return early out of a map? I'm not sure yet. Or I'm not sure right now. Let me look this up. It's like map or something, right? It's iter. That's not what I want. Where's... It's too many maps. Oh, can I just type it in? Standard iter. Oh, no, I saw it there, actually. I saw it. Go back. There it is. There's like a map or else or something. Maybe not. What I want to do is bail if anything can't be decoded properly and abandon the whole thing. Okay, maybe I'll just do that later. I'll just keep it the traditional way at first. Collect into result error. Let me give you a point for that. And again, it's a little bit more advanced than I'm willing to try out right now. To do improvement. We'll keep that around for now, but at first I'm just going to just do a straight translation. So it would be we're going to be modifying the path in place, right? So it would be I need to make path mutable. Oh, what am I doing? That we can't do. Yeah, so just do that for now. I need that. There. Whoops. Just do into iter. Can you say iter mute? Iter mute. For mute segment equals. I just do that. Expected a block. Oh yeah, block. Cool. All right, and then there's my early return, and then it's just path, right? It's okay path. There. Okay, then I need a decode element. Function decode element. Element. Let's make it two-liner. And then, let's see what I call it in C++. Allowed characters. What did I use here? I used another class for this. Why did I do that? Just to be more efficient? It's just a wrapper for a set, I think. Yeah, with some conveniences. I don't need to be that elaborate, right? I think there's a map or else. What I wanted to do is return early, and I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if map or else did that. Yeah, there's no map or for iterators. It would need to be for iterator. I'm pretty sure Silmuth is on the right track with that. Where was I? That we want to form an iterator of... we want to turn the iterator of strings into a result that, if it's okay, gives us a vector, otherwise gives us an error. I mean, this is the result that we want, right? So yeah, I think collect would do it, right? collect does return early. Okay, yeah. So you can tell like from my handling of that I'm not confident enough in my ability to do that yet. What's wrong with this syntax here? Nothing. All right. There's a squiggly there. I didn't know why. Oh, we'll get back to that. For now, I just want to keep this as it is, just because I can understand it. Okay, this. Do I need another type for that, or can I use like a hash? There's like a hash set, isn't there? Hash set. Can I use a hash set of characters? Okay, for now I'm just going to keep it as a string, a static string. Returns a string. Unimplemented. Actually, it's a result string or error. Unimplemented. Chars collect hash set. Yeah, that'll put each character. Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you, Urald. Because that's probably, yeah, I can then just make this a, we're only going to borrow it, right? And it's still static scope. Question is, how would I'm already thinking ahead of how am I going to construct, where am I? Parse path. This pchar not encoded is a global constant. I'm not sure how to make those in Rust right now. Let's see if I can figure it out. So I kind of want it to be outside of everything, right? Can I put it here? Ooh. Let's not do that. Ooh. Ah! Let's just go to C++ comments. Or // comments, I should say. All right. So, how would I do this in Rust? Can we do this? Rust static constants. Unchangeable, okay. Unchangeable volume, a possibly mutable variable static lifetime. So we just want const, right? So I just want, yeah, so const, and this is, hash set is from, what namespace? Standard collections. You know, I don't mind doing a using for that. Using, or is it use standard collections hash set? I don't mind doing that now. We know where hash set comes from. Hash set of characters. And then we do equal. Oh, that's built from a bunch of other ones. Okay, this is going to be more complicated than I thought. Let me start with the basic one. Const can't be heap allocated? So we can't make a constant hash set? That's a bummer. Maybe it needs to be static then. Or maybe I need to do something else. Let me just concentrate for a second. All right. So they do have a semicolon at the end. I'm saying we can't do this, right? Lazy init. I don't know what that is. So you're proposing I do a static, right? What is a ref? Static ref, what does that do? But and I would end up wanting to do, actually this is adding two together. Let's see if, I want to have two, okay, this becomes a, well, how do you, you do a range, right? What am I doing with the keyword? Do I need parentheses there? I don't know what I'm doing. Collect into, no, that's a range, that's an iterator. Yeah, I want to collect, yeah, collect into a hash set of characters. Okay, I don't know if that syntax is right, but I need something to be able to like concatenate two things together. How do you concatenate two iterators together? That's what I really want to do. I want to take this iteration, or that range, and then iterate the uppercase ones to it. It's a macro either from the once cell or lazy init crate. Yeah, see, it's beyond what I know yet. Let me take your links. Oh, I can't believe it. I closed my notebook again. I keep closing that. Let me take your links. Go to today's notebook page and put them here. I'm already getting tired. How long have I been going? 2.5 hours? Don't know how much longer I can go. I'm just writing down, it might not be correct syntax, but I'm writing down what I want. Before I do this, I kind of want to like concatenate this to that and then collect it together. Into a hash set of characters. That's what I want for alpha. But of course that's not correct syntax, because if it was, it would have been okay. Gotta work my streaming endurance back up. Yeah. The other thing is I need to get, my goal right now for streaming is to get to where Chris Griffin is, in that he can stream for hours and hours and all day and not get tired out. I think it has to do with the right expectations and the right like balance of like not exhausting myself. So yeah, I think my plan is going to be I'll work for another 45 minutes, and then I'm going to probably jump into a ski dog stream. Iterator has concat, you think? What you need is for one more pair in my turbofish. Oh yeah. It's yeah, right here, right? But this whole syntax is wrong, right? And this is a C++ way of defining it. Isn't it? Okay, I could have the type thing, but I can just do that. Okay, and so, well, let me do static. Expected a colon, yeah. Let me try to build up something simpler. Static, I don't know, AZ is A through Z. What is that? It doesn't even like that. Do I need to comment out this other crap? It doesn't like this at all. Unnecessary parentheses. Okay, I can accept that. Now what? It still doesn't like it. Expected semicolon somewhere. Oh, it needs to know the type? Okay. Care? No, I didn't like that either. What am I getting myself into? Is it item equals character? That's true. Yeah, because that iterator is a trait. What is... Okay. If I say that in some code, what is it? What is AZ now? It's a range. Okay. So I should be able to say static AZ, which is a range of characters, is that. Oops. What? Okay, why do I have to do import range? Okay. So many things I need to learn. Range. Standard ops range? Do I have to say that? Okay. Okay, now it's finally happy. I can't just say that, because it needs to have a type. Okay, so then what happens if I say that collect as a hash set of characters? It doesn't like that because it's the wrong type, right? Okay, found standard collection set. Okay, so if I say collections hash set, okay, cool. It's happy with that. Then, if we start with that, can I then concatenate into iter and then concatenate? Okay, I don't know how to add glue two iterators together. That's what I really need to do, though. Is it and then? Okay, I'm just gonna look it up because I don't remember and I don't know. Rust concatenate iterators. Is it possible to concatenate? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Should just go there. Chain. Aha. And the other is another iterator. Okay, cool. So then chain A through Z into iterator. Ooh, there we go. And then call it alpha and we're done, right? So there's my alpha numerics. Or my alphas. Those are my alphas. Now, how can I make it look nicer? Maybe put this, combine this, and then it doesn't look so bad. All right. Okay, so then to get and just to make sure, it doesn't like const for that. Oh no, it does. It was okay with const there? Do I even need to specify the type then? Yes, I do. Yeah, okay, so it needs the type. Okay, so, but it can be const, that's cool, so that's what I wanted. So the problem here is, this goes, I have to, okay, I don't need to say standard collections hash set it because I imported that. Great, so then we just need the type annotation here. And then, ooh. Char is ASCII letter or something like that exists. Cool. I think I want to keep it as that because this has to match exactly what the RFC says. So this has to be literally only A through Z and capital A through Z. It can't include anything else that Rust might think is a ASCII letter. Actually, there couldn't ever be anything else that isn't an ASCII letter, so maybe this would be a possible improvement. Improvement? Maybe we use that instead of that. I'm wondering if I want to separate the iterators from the collection, because we're going to chain other iterators together. Maybe. Well, let me get the unreserveds. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to need the alpha iterator and the digit iterator and all that. Let's do the digits. All right, we can do this. I can get faster at this, maybe. One can only hope. Did I get faster at this? How come I'm so slow? Just struggling with my keyboard. Yeah, so we get rid of that. We put that there and into iter and collect hash set. That's a dot dot. And I need to include, that needs to be inclusive, right? Those all need to be inclusive. It's weird that the ligature changes like that. Okay, so where I'm going to reuse digit is down here, right, for unreserved. Formatting is killing me. All right, so that goes there. This goes away. Okay, here I think I want to split this up then. So I kind of want to say alpha it. And then this is alpha it collect. That can all be on one line. I want to reuse that iterator. Actually, can I do that? Does collect consume consume the iterator? I might not be able to do this. I don't even know if I can build constants from other constants in collect. I might not be able to do this. I might have to clone it, right? Yeah, okay, so, I can't reuse it. I'm surprised it actually let me do that. Is it because I have these other errors here? Let's comment this out. Yeah, it's not going to let me do that. Oh, look, I had this wrong anyway. This should be like that. Yeah, it's not going to let me do this, is it? Because it's the wrong type. This is a standard iter. Well, what is the type when if I do that? Let's find out. What is it? Let. What is it? A chain of range inclusive, range inclusive. Try some methods on hash set. Yeah, I guess ultimately we are going to clone the iterator. We're going to clone at least something, right? Yeah. Okay, so then I'm not going to mess with this. We'll just put this back the way it was. And then this, okay, so then put this back in. We would have to say like, can I just say iter or clone? Or can I clone into an iterator? How about just iterator? What is it? Iterator borrows it, right? So borrow it in order to collect it back, right? Well, actually, can't I just do that? And then chain with digit iterator. And then how do you, instead of chaining with iterator, how do I add to an iterator? Add? Also? No. There's got to be a way to do it. Rust add to iterator. It's the opposite of take, isn't it? Let me just look through the methods of iterator. Copied. Do I think Rust is good for game engines? I don't know enough about Rust to know if it's good for game engines. There's the Are We Game Yet to consider. So they, people who manage this know a lot more than I do. And they collected together a bunch of stuff from Reddit and other places about it. I don't know. I only have been using Rust for about a month or two, which you could probably tell by me struggling to define these things. There's got to be a way to like form a new iterator from an existing iterator with some extra things in it. What's enumerate? No. Fine. Flatten. Fold? Nope. Fuse? No. Iter once. There we go. But we'll have to do that for all four of those, because that would be a pain. Oh, no, I can make that into an array. Okay, yeah, there we go. So I can do... I can actually just make this an array, all right? So if I had one thing that... Yeah, okay, thank you, Silency. If it was just one thing, I could do iter once, but if it's an array, I can just make that into an array and then turn that into an iterator, right? Into iterator. And then collect that into a hash set. Almost. What did it not like about this last step? Oh, come on. Cannot be built from iterator of elements. Okay, I need to dereference it somehow. Do I just do map to that? There we go. The magic of map. So that took every reference to a character and dereferenced it, and then collected into characters. That's some black looking magic, isn't it? Okay, so then I need sub-delimiters. Alright, this one's gonna be easy, right? This is gonna be easy. Kill, indent, make those into nicer comments. This is a hash set. So this is just make it into an array. Might as well, well, let's indent. And then into iterator. And then collect it. And do I need the map reference? Probably. There we go. Iter cloned. Where would I use iter cloned? What does cloned do? Consider which clones all of its elements. But I don't think we need to clone characters, though. Don't we just need to dereference them? This is useful when you have an iterator over references in the iterator. I think we can do this because these are, because char is a copy, or what's the term for that? It's, it implements copy? Yeah, I don't think we need to clone it if we can copy it, right? I'll give you a point for that, though, because I might need to do that if it wasn't copyable. All right, so I can finally do this one, right? Silent Z earning all the points. I guess we should say Silent Z knows more Rust than I do. Okay, so then, like I was doing before, I just reiterate these, and all the other ones get chained to it. And then finally chain this array of put it into an iterator, and then we got a map, we got to dereference and collect it. Neat. All right, so finally we have that. So decode element takes a borrow hash set of characters. This, I'm wondering why it's not giving me a syntax error for any of that. Did I make a mistake somewhere? It's not even getting to that line. Okay, that makes me nervous. What's going on? Cargo Clippy, please. Unclosed delimiter. Oops, I didn't mean to make that a delimiter. That's what's wrong. Unclosed. There. All right. Cool, we're back. And expected string found. Oh, expected mutable string. Okay. Wait, what? Oh. That's a slice. So, I can turn this into, from or to into or from. I forgot how this is done. Rust traits is duck typing. I don't know how to answer that, because I don't know enough about Rust traits to know if it is duck typing or not. Duck, and I'm not I actually don't even really I don't use that term duck typing myself, so I don't want to claim that I know what it means. What's duck typing? It's computer programming is an application of the duck test. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it must be a duck. I think so. I think the answer is yes. Yes. So my understanding of a Rust trait is that the compiler will allow you to use a type in the context where a trait is expected if that type implements that trait. So implementing a trait means that it can it obeys a certain contract. So that, I think that's what we mean by duck typing, right? Whack. Hey there, JD or GD. Yes, Rust. Okay, if StrothJ says it does, then must be. Okay, there's StrothJ. Okay. I'm trying to remember how to do the from magic. Again, there's more Rust magic for me to get used to. Is it from? Or is it as? No. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, dine, because it doesn't know the size? Is this... Well, let me think about this. I don't think I want from there. I just don't know what I want yet. I don't know what the syntax is. I want something that can be turned into a slice. Rust parameter compatible with string slice. Yeah, I don't have the Google Foo today. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I thought I tried. Into. It didn't like that, though. What did it like about that? Oh, I need to make this into a generic, don't I? I have to like, do they have an example of it? No. I need to do something like T, where this is a T, and then, where do I put the constraints? I can't remember how to do this. Okay. This is what happens when you don't use Rust for about a month and a half. Rust generic function into. Yeah, let's do Rust generics by example. Functions. Okay, so it actually goes there. Whoop, what happened? I hit the wrong key. There. Hit the wrong key again. Let's just type it. Looks much more unreadable. Yeah, it's part of the challenge, definitely. I just don't remember the syntax now. Where do I put the constraint? Is it like out here? It's like where T is into. Is this how to do it? Okay, so then I need to like have some kind of namespace or some kind of lifetime for that. They have to be prior. Okay, fine. Prior. There you go. Okay, cool. That worked. All right. Or did it work? No, it still didn't work. Okay, maybe I'm not solving the right problem. The trait bound slice to convert from string is not satisfied because the requirements and the implementation of into. Duck typing doesn't necessarily mean it checks at runtime. Duck typing just means that something obeys a contract, but it could the checking could be at any time. It could be at compile time or runtime, or not at all actually. Yeah, it could. Yeah, I think they're. It's not. It's not. It's not that it has to be one way or the other. I think what it is where we have a mutable reference to a string. Do I need to dereference it or something? What does it mean by try expression? I think I need more detail. Ooh. Is it that I have a reference and I don't need it? Hold on. Lost my place. Like, do I not need that there? No, I do need that. Okay, I think I'm going down a rabbit hole I don't want to do. So maybe for now we will just back up and make that a string and remove this constraint. for now. Let me put a to-do here. Look into making element type more flexible. Okay, this is still wrong. What is this segment? Do I just need to dereference it? Okay, well, another way I can do it is... Oh, wait a minute. That's the problem. That needs to be a reference to a string, doesn't it? No. It still doesn't like it. Does it have to do with immutability? It shouldn't care. Okay, what if I... Yeah, I thought you could convert a mutable reference to an immutable reference. Okay, what if we own it? What if we take it in, what if we consume it and then... It's still wrong. Oh, I think I know what I'm doing wrong. It's the assignment part, right? I think it's the assignment part that I'm doing wrong. Because this is going to return just a string. Says it expected a mutable string received a string. Let's see what I'm doing now. Let me, so I can maybe understand it better. Let me break this up into two steps. Let new segment equal that. Okay, so there is nothing wrong with that. It's this assignment that's wrong. Yeah, okay, so this was okay. So maybe I can go back to using what I wanted to use here. I wanted to accept any kind of, like, is that automatically just work? Accept a slice? Yeah, okay, so that's convertible already. The problem is that and then will Clippy give me a hand here? Dereferencing here to assign to the mutable bar. I have to do that? Okay. You don't have to do that in C++. Okay. Okay, so lesson is that in Rust, if you have a mutable reference, you have to dereference the left-hand side. That's new to me. Okay, why isn't it like this one, though? Temporary value dropped while borrowed. Oh, did I accidentally, No, it's borrowing the hash, static constant hash set. Wait a minute. It didn't warn me about that before, did it? Oh, it did warn me about that before. Okay, what exactly did I get wrong there? Temporary value is freed at the end of the statement. Creates a temporary which is freed while still in use. Argument requires that borrow lasts for static. That's not a temporary, though. Oh, is it because of these other errors? Oh, well, I guess we can't do what we were doing before. I think the root of it is that all of this is bad. Yeah. Now Rust doesn't like these at all. Calls and constants, so does this have to be static then? Constant functions, tuple structs, and tuple variants. Okay, so we can't do any of this stuff. Okay, well, how am I going to get around that then? I mean, I guess I could just be literal. Should I learn this lazy static crate? Should we take a detour to learn static, lazy static? All right. It's possible statics that require code to be executed at runtime or to be initialized. Includes anything requiring heap allocations, as well as anything. Yeah. Okay. So then I'll just put it inside of a macro and it just works, right? Okay. Doesn't look too onerous. I just need to add that to my cargo toml. What version are we to? 1.4. And then change this to be lazy static. Did I not do that right? Oh, I didn't do that right. It wants a bracket. What's the error? Cannot find macro lazy static in this scope. Probably because I need to do a cargo check first. Cargo build, I mean. All right. Why doesn't it want me to do that? Can I find lazy? Oh, I need to do I need to do extern crate. Okay, fine. Or do I? What's macro use? Oh, whatever. They say to do that, I'll do it. If it makes it happy, that's fine. Can't use const though. Static it is. And we have to have ref. I don't understand what ref means in that here. I don't like things I don't understand. S2 is the streamer learning Rust or trying to rewrite C++ server for game in Rust. I recently started learning Rust, and I learned it live on stream, and I want to use it. So one way for me to get some practice in using it is to take code I've already written, like this URI implementation, parsing and generating URIs, and then port it to Rust. And I've done this many times while I'm learning Rust, is take something I've already have in another programming language and try to port it to Rust. And then, so not only do I get more practice in Rust, but once I get it working, it becomes a building block for making larger things in Rust. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so we're doing lazy static around these guys. Interesting that it did that. All right. Static. I do want to figure out what ref means there. What is ref? Okay, can I look this up? Rust static ref. Yeah, I don't know. I wish that it would tell me what that ref means. Maybe I just need to look at the documentation. Docs. Hey there, Metalstorm. Yeah, well, I sort of restarted my stream, Metalstorm. Oh, and I forgot to say hi to someone else. Phil, hello. Trying to help me before with the error I was looking at. I forgot to say hi. Yeah, I started... Well, this stream... I haven't streamed since like a month and a half. I was doing a contracting job, and I had no leftover energy for streaming, so... Now that the contract is done, I want to get back into streaming, and so it's almost like I'm rebooting the stream. I'm not going with the schedule. I'm not stressing about starting at a specific time. I'm just streaming when it's convenient and it's not stressful. So that's why the time is going to be kind of unpredictable, I think. Maybe it'll settle back into a regular periodic thing that I can nail down a schedule, but right now it's going to be kind of unscheduled. I want to understand what that ref means. Is it just peculiar to this crate? My primary job, I don't have one. I used to have a job, and it was doing mostly Windows application prototyping and embedded software for test devices, or multimedia research and development. So that is in Code Journey. So I went freelance, where I didn't get a single contract for 2 years, and then I finally got a contract, and that was the last month and a half. And it was the same kind of work. It was doing some prototyping for some audio applications. But yeah, I was laid off from the job 2 years ago, and I've been streaming ever since, and if I can get a contract, I will. And I learned in the last month that when I am working on a contract, if it's full-time, I really don't have any leftover energy to stream. So it's sort of mutually exclusive with the stream, I guess. Is this going to explain what static ref means, or do I need to keep searching? I feel like I need to keep searching. What if I'd put static ref? It only comes up in the context of lazy static, so maybe it's just a peculiarity of the syntax. I wish they would explain why they have that ref keyword in there. Okay, what if I back up and look at ref keyword? What does ref mean? Ref. The documentation for this keyword is not yet complete. Bind by reference during pattern matching. Oh, I remember that. That if you want to take the name as a piece of a larger pattern, you have to put that ref keyword in there. Oh, all right. I remember it being the old way of doing, yeah, you can do let ref x equal, instead of saying let x equal reference. Yeah. Okay. I sort of understand it. I understand it enough to be okay with using it, so let's just continue. Am I changing from Rust to Go? No, I'm sticking with Rust for a while. Nothing against Rust, nothing against Go. I just, I'm really happy with Rust right now, with the challenge of learning it. So, I do know some other streamers who do stuff with both Rust and Go at the same time, like Mr. Halsey. I probably misspoke, Metalstorm. I do that a lot. I'm comfortable with misspeaking. I make mistakes all the time. Okay, all those are in a row, and it's all yellow instead of red, which makes me happy. Now, why is this a problem? I hate it when I'm in the pop-up window, and it disappears while I'm looking at it. What if I just hit F8? up here. Do I not need to do this, maybe? No, it doesn't like the macro unless I do that. That's weird. Okay, so can't find crate. What? Why does it say you can't find the crate? I'm pulling it in there. Then misspell it? Yeah, Ecton, Eric.dev too? I was thinking of Ecton.dev and Mr. Halsey. But there are a bunch of other streamers also on the Rustations team who both use Rust and Go. Rust does not have a garbage collector. It is not a garbage collected language. I think Golang is though, right? Okay, what am I missing here that... Oh, I already closed the window. Let's go back to libs. Lazy static. Macro use extern crate lazy static. And it has a problem with that saying what? Again. Don't disappear while I'm scrolling, please. Can't find crate for lazy static. Can't find crate. I don't get it. Do you think I just need to reload? What was the shortcut for that? Rust Analyzer Reload Workspace? No, it's having trouble on the command line too. Can't find crate. Type URI cargo toml. Lazy static 1.4. Am I liking Rust compared to C++? Rust is really challenging, but there are a lot of rewards, like, for example, when I get the code that I'm writing to actually compile, it usually works right away. And if it doesn't, it's usually fairly obvious to me what I did wrong. Okay, maybe I should just search for this. Can't find crate, extern crate, lazy static. Lazy static, what's the exact words? Can't find crate. What's the, no answer, okay. Skip to the answer, there is no answer. Is there a way to force it to reload everything? Actually, let me look at the cargo lock. Am I in the right place? Where am I? Cargo lock at the top level, right? Oh, these are other dependencies. It does have lazy static in there. I don't know what to do. Other than pull that out. And then put it back in. It doesn't even look like it is downloading it or anything. Oh, it's dev dependencies. That's right. I needed it to be under dependencies, not dev dependencies. Okay, that's me being dumb. Yeah, now it's gonna work. Of course. Of course. All right, It has to be a dependency because we're using it in the actual code, not the tests. Okay, what's it? Is it telling me that I can make this better? Useless conversion. I don't need into iter? They already are iterators? Good to know. So we can simplify it. We don't need into iters for ranges. Now what's wrong with this one? You are using an explicit closure for copying elements on by default. Okay, what's the quick fix? I don't know what it's trying to tell me. Okay, we don't need the into iterator. We probably don't need that map, right? No, nope. The pop-up disappearing when I go to scroll is really irritating to me. Thank you for that follow. You're using explicit closure for copying elements. I don't know what it's trying to tell me, so let's just go from the top. Can I clear this and then run it? Oh, I need to finish soon anyway. It didn't... Okay, I'm just going to close this terminal then. Exit. Give me a fresh terminal, please. All right, now cargo Clippy, please. I gotta wrap up the stream. Let me find this one problem and then I'll stop. Yeah, these are all okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that was what was it, Silenzy asked me to do before? To do copied instead of the explicit map? Right? You probably told me to do copied. Someone did. I think you told me to do cloned. Uh-oh. I lost my chat. Use iter instead of into iter? I'm not even using into iter, though. It's telling me to use copied instead of, I think, this map. That's my guess. So what, copied? Yeah, that's what it's telling me to do. Right, it was cloned if you couldn't clone it. That pop-up pop-up, stay there, please. This is copyable, so we can use copied. If it's not implementing copy, we use cloned. Right. So let me I've lost my chat history, but I'm gonna manually do points silenzy 1. Give you another point. All right, so that's going to be the issue with all of these map to dereference. We should just do copied. And then this can be just iter. Copied instead of map. Iter instead of into iter. All right. Okay, cleaned up all of my hash maps. Great. Cool. Okay, so where am I then? Am I ready to run again? Let's run it. Oh, cool. Okay, so it got down to 107. Cool, so let me see that. Run debug that. Okay, so the allowed characters are what? 79 characters. It'd be cool if I could actually see the characters here, wouldn't it? I don't think we're going to be able to, though. Debugger isn't that good. So there are 79 characters in the decode element. I think this is where I'm going to pick it up later. So yeah, I need to stop anyway to take a break, and I'm going to probably just jump into Ski Dog stream. And I'll pick this up later. I don't know if it'll be later tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, I don't want to get burned out, and part of that is to not be streaming endless hours. Can also make your top parse function public to get rid of the unused warnings. Okay. I tried that earlier, but I had a problem with that. I would like to get rid of those errors. You're saying if I those methods, like, actually I don't see those warnings anymore. Is it not until I hit save again? Okay, so you're saying, is it public here? That's not how I do it, right? All right, I need to look it up. I know it's like one more thing. Rust public function. Is it just pub then, huh? Okay. Just like everything, Rust likes to abbreviate. It didn't remove the warning, though. Do I need to make the struct public then, right? Do you make the impl public or just the struct? Still there for some reason. Method could have a must use attribute. It's probably because I have pedantic on, right? It's because it's not being used. So if I turn that off, it's going to say you're not using it at all. Yeah. So that did do it. And I needed to have the struct also public. If I don't make that... Whoops. If I remove the struct there, the warning comes back, right? Yeah. So the warning is back there, even though that's pub. It has to be on both the struct and the function. And I should move these around. These shouldn't be here. They're breaking up my structure and its implementation. They should go above. Where to put them? How about right here? Actually, how about at the very top? How about right there? All right, cool. So, URI has to be public. Might as well make that public too while we're at it. And then, I thought we were using check scheme. We're using it down here. Okay, so I'm missing a pub. I think it's on parse. Yeah, here we go. Oh, how did that turn it into an error? Oh, because error is private. Okay, yeah. So everything public has to use public stuff. So this needs to be a public enum. Now the error goes away. This docs for function returning result missing. Oh, it's just a doc warning. Okay. Missing. So I can maybe temporarily turn off missing errors doc. Okay, let's do that. Allow missing errors doc. Was it Clippy? Yeah, just for now. Okay, and I'm gonna leave my workspace warning free if I can. So for now, these are all going to be commented out. These are used though. I'm filling those in. Yeah, these are not used yet. That's not used yet. What did I do wrong here? It's more concise to loop over references to containers instead of using explicit iteration methods. Can you do a quick fix for me? Oh. Okay. And then what? This does not mean to be mutable. That's right, because it's a reference. Cool. Hey there, 85 filter. And hey there, initiative. I'm wrapping up the stream right now, but I might be back later. I forgot to say hi to a bunch of other people, but now my chat got reset, so I can't locate their old chat. So hello, anybody who I didn't say hello to. Right now I'm just wrapping up the stream by removing some of the warnings in the code here. And I'll probably be streaming later today or tomorrow to continue working on this. What's wrong with this one? This method could have a must-use attribute, must-use candidate. I don't understand this one. I guess I can read about that later. Yeah, well, they're unused for now. They will be used later, though. It's funny that this says these are... Oh, no, they're unused because we filled them in, but nothing ever uses them. So, this could just return... Actually, this shouldn't be a slice like... Oh. That's going to be a problem. I'll have to redo that one, because I turned a path into a vector of strings, not a slice. Yeah. This one, though, I can just say self.scheme. Can't do that? Oh, this one's a slice. I can say it's an option. We can give him a reference to... We can have him borrow it. Can't do that? I can if I do that. Yeah, I'll have to look at this later, find out why it's giving me those warnings. I got an error, though. Oh, right, because I can't do that now. Why would I need to do that? Okay, I'll have to look at this later. I really need to go. As ref. Let me put that as a note here. To do... I think that's what you asked me to do. But I really need to go now, so... Because I really need to use the restroom. But then I'm going to probably be hanging out in Ski Dog stream. In fact, maybe... I should rate another dev streamer, though, shouldn't I? Even though I'm going to be hanging out in a Ski Dog stream. Let me look and see who's streaming right now. Is there anyone in the Rustations stream team streaming right now? No, I'm the only one. Okay. So scratch that. Hey, let's raid Chris. Since I haven't been streaming in a month and a half, I haven't raided Chris in a month and a half. So let's do that. So I'm going to be raiding Chris. I hope you will check his stream out if you haven't seen it before. Looks like he's in a break right now, but he's a streamer whose attitude towards streaming is one that I would like to adopt and get to, where he just codes, chill, doesn't get stressed, and he can stream for a long time without getting burned out. So we will go raid him now, and I'll maybe be back later. We'll see. All right. Starting the stream. So thanks again for watching today. I might be back later. If not later today, I'll probably be back tomorrow. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Chris's stream. And thanks for being here again. See you next time. Bye. The gist